Hi, I'm Malcolm.
And I'm Rachel. We're two Canadians living on our 39-foot mainship trawler, living an adventure of a lifetime. We invite you to follow along as we travel 6,000 miles through Canadian and U.S. waterways around America's Great Loop. We just left Hoppies this morning, and it was an interesting night. Lots of barges going by, and there's quite a bit of wake from the barges, even in the middle of the night. So if you like that rocky, rolly feeling to help you fall asleep, that's a good place to stay. Anyway, it was not a bad stop because we felt safe being tied up. We went for a walk in the late afternoon yesterday around, I think it was a museum. And it was kind of like a really nice park area, so that was nice to stretch the legs and do that. And Malcolm and I went out there this morning, so that was really good. The facilities do include hydro and not much else, actually. Hydro, I think they have water. I don't know if I would trust the water there. They did say run it for a long time before using it, and apparently it was potable, but we didn't need water, so we didn't bother filling that up. It was nice to have the air conditioning on for a little while just to cool down the boat because it actually was a really hot day yesterday. And in fact, we are going to have some very hot days coming up within the next week, up to I think 37 and 38 degrees Celsius, which is well over 100 Fahrenheit. So we won't be able to put our air conditioning on every day, but when we can, we probably will just to cool down the evening hours especially. The one thing though here, it is hot right now, but the evenings and the nights and early morning are nice and cool. So that has been really good that we don't feel too hot all the time. We don't want to have heat exhaustion. Anyway, it looks like a good day today. We're going to Kaskaskia Lock. We're not going through the lock, it's at the river, but we're just stopping on the wall. And that run should be about 4 hours, maybe even a bit less. We do have a lot of current helping us along right now. I think we said at least 3 knots of current added to our regular speed, so we're running 9 or 10 knots, and we're traveling with some other boats that don't travel as fast as us, so they're really enjoying this extra speed. But once we hit the Ohio River, we're only going on the Ohio River for, not today, but in the future, I think a very short way, but it is against us, so we will actually lose about 3 knots of speed. So we're enjoying the add of speed today and the next couple of days. Hope you're having a great day. We're continuing along the Mississippi after leaving Hoppies, and we're going around a bend, and the current is very strong here, around 3 knots, so we're getting really pushed along. But there's a lot of silt and sand that's deposited at the side. You can see that there, it looks like a huge beach. But it means you have to be careful not to run aground if you get too close to shore. And it's really interesting to see the landscape. There's some cliffs on one side, and the train track goes along too, so kind of really neat to see. And then we're also going to see some mining. We saw mining of sand, and there's another mine up here. I'm not sure what they're mining, but maybe it's more sand. We are going 10.3 knots, and our RPMs are only just around 1900. Just goes to show how much current there is along here. And because it's pushing us along, it's almost hard to steer in some ways because you have to keep correcting for the push that you're getting. So we just passed a couple of tows, and now that we're past them, the water's a lot flatter. We noticed some waves, or Malcolm did, after one of the tows that looked like, he said, a 6-foot wave, so we really didn't want to hit that. But now that we're clear of them, it's just flat with lots of eddies everywhere because of the current. We are currently going down the Mississippi River, and we have got to a part where it's a little bit calmer. We've been going past a few tugs and barges today, but it's kind of a pleasant ride right now with some nice scenery around us, and we're just chatting and discussing that we have reached 3 months on the loop, which is a quarter done. It's pretty good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
And it sort of sneaks up on you. You don't think about it, and then you think, okay, we've been out 3 months. That's that, and then you look at the map, and then you start realizing that actually equates to a quarter done. So that's that. I think that's quite an achievement.
That's pretty good. Good. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually we're at a very challenging part right now. We just left a marina called Hoppies, which is a famous place to stop. And from here for the next, I don't know, 100 plus miles, more than how many miles, there's really no marinas and nowhere really to stop. So there's a group of us traveling together and just, trying to help each other. So where to anchor, where to stop.
Yeah, I mean, right now, even as I look on this river, the water is very low. So anchorages that used to be usable, you could actually drop your anchor somewhere and just stay for the night. They're either dry, so there's absolutely no water in them, or the water is so shallow that you will ground your boat and you won't be able to get off. So there's very limited anchorages, and to be honest, when we started this river system, that was the last thing I thought of, was just the water levels and whether or not it would be a problem for anchoring, because as I think most of you know, we like to anchor. So we're being forced into very few anchorages, which means we're having to go longer distances to get to those anchorages. Not a bad thing, because it gets you through some of these rivers quicker, but we were hoping to drop the hook here and there and go down the rivers a little slower. But it is what it is. When those of you that are interested in doing the loop and get on your boat, it may be completely different. You could have just right water, or what we have, or more water. It's really just the luck of the draw as you come down the river system.
And I think the water level here could be as much as like 30 feet higher. It's a huge range, maybe even more. You can see it's really low here, and the barges are having to stay kind of more in the middle, so it's a little more challenging to pass them, and we know they're just trying to do their job and not run aground, and the same with us. We're trying to not do our job, but try not to run aground.
Yeah, we stayed at Hoppies last night, which is a great little stop. It's basically a couple of barges that have been tied together. They do have fuel. They do have power.
Yeah, power. Yeah, wasn't expecting that.
You can even walk in onto the land for a bit, have a stroll through a nice park, which is really good.
Yeah.
But we also talked to the daughter of the owner last night. She gave us a little briefing, which was really nice. And she mentioned that, it wasn't that long ago, they had water that was about 30 feet, 40 feet higher than what it is now in one of the great floods they have. And the floods seem to be coming more frequently. So even though the water's low, I have to say I'm pretty thankful that we're not dealing with water that's 30 feet above the current levels.
Yeah.
That would be very intimidating. And we do see a lot of wood and debris on the sides of the river.
Yeah.
And if the water goes up a little bit, that's all coming into the river, and then we got to dodge it. So it's low, it's not great, but
it could be worse.
It could be worse, and so we'll take it as it is.
And actually, we have had some logs in the water as we've been going along today, but not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's been actually quite good.
Yeah, I think we saw more wood in the Illinois by Alton going past the marina there.
That's true.
Just at the dock, we saw lots of logs going by. It's a little intimidating when you're going out in your boat.
Yeah, luckily they're all traveling pretty much well, they're traveling in the same direction.
Yeah, it's true.
So they're not coming at us.
Yeah.
And we're not doing a super, it's not a long run today, so we're not going super fast. But
Yeah, we're going to the Kaskaskia lock, and we're not going through the lock, but the lock master has allowed us to stay tied up to the wall for the night. So it just makes our next day a little bit shorter, even though it's a really long run.
And I said super fast. Well, as most of you know, we don't go super fast. But right now, we are currently running at around a little under 1,200 RPM, which is really just above idle for us. And we're running at 8.4 knots, which is thanks to the current.
Yeah.
We should normally be only going like 6, maybe 5.5.
Yeah. Well, we're staying with the group, so we're all staying together.
Great fuel efficiency, though.
Yeah.
We're able to burn way less diesel and still get where we're going. This will all change when we get to the bottom of the Mississippi and turn onto the Ohio.
Yeah, the Ohio is going to be against us, so we're going to lose quite a bit.
Yeah. So
anyway, good for us. 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Another achievement. We'll tick that one off the box, and we'll see how the next 3 months go.
Yeah. Hope you're having a great day. Just going around a bend here, and there's this huge area of open sand, like shoaling, and I don't know, I can't even describe how high it is, but the sand is so thick, looks, like 15 to 20 feet, and a huge area of the river is just open there. So definitely the lack of water in this river has changed where the edge of the river is. Kind of interesting. And then on the other side, there's all these sort of rocks, kind of like rock dams, I guess. And then in between, there's these huge sort of areas of sand that have sort of deposited there over time. When the barges go by, I guess the silt sort of moves up to the side. So like a little beach is made there. I don't think I'd want to go in there, though. The water is really dirty. It's very, very brown. We've just about reached our destination, and we've been going at a fairly low speed, which is not really what the diesel engine likes. So when this happens, and we've been doing this a while, we like to go kind of at full throttle and just blow out any of the carbon that's in the engine. So we just turned around in the river against the current, and we're going to go full speed just for like a minute. We'll see how that looks.
Okay.
morning. I am standing in front of our red light inside the boat. We are at Kaskaskia Loch Wall and about to head back out onto the Mississippi. It's going to be a really long day today, about 103 miles, and nautical miles that is, and we're just waiting for the first light. Just a little tiny bit of light showing now. We're going to head out before sunrise, you know, that time when you can kind of see but the sunrise hasn't officially started. But it's really important to wait because there's quite a lot of debris and logs in the water and we have to be able to see them. So a lot of the boats are all ready to go, just waiting for that light to come up so we can make a really early start on this long day. Hope you have a great day. Just left the Kaskaskia River entrance where the lock is. We didn't actually go through the lock, but we stayed there last night, and we're heading back out onto the Mississippi. And there's quite a bit of current here. We're going to gain some speed as we go here, so you kind of have to enter quickly to stay in line with where you want to go. So hopefully our long day today won't be slowed down by anything, but we should get there, I'm going to guess, between 4 and 5 p.m. We're leaving at 6. Thereabouts. That was a really big tow that we just passed. He had 6 barge wide by 6 barge long. 36 barges in one tow, and good thing the river is wide enough here for us all to pass. We passed on the one, which is port to port. There are 4 boats traveling in Convoy today, and we are taking the lead because we have AIS, and that means that the tows and barges can see us on their radios or their chart plotters rather. And then the last boat also has AIS, so it's kind of like we're sandwiched, or the other 2 boats are sandwiched within the AIS able boats. So that's kind of a good thing that other boats can see us, especially on this very busy waterway. Hi there. This tug ahead of us is going a little slower than our speed, and we just had a conversation with him. We're going through a bit of an S-shaped curve of the river, and not enough room for us to pass. We need a straighter part of the river to pass. And being one of 4 pleasure craft, we just want to make sure we have enough space. So we have slowed down to match the tug's speed to be able to navigate behind him through the S shape of the river. And then once we get to a straighter part, we'll call him again and he'll let us know which side to pass on. All along down the side of this river, there are piles of rocks that jut out into the river, and these are wing dams that are there to control the flow of the river and the sediment that's deposited as a result of all the tows flowing back and forth. So it's actually one place where pleasure craft could, in a pinch, anchor for the night if you get too tired and you can't make it, or for whatever reason it's dark and you can't proceed. You can actually stop near a wing dam, as long as it's not too shallow there, of course, and just anchor there for a rest before carrying on when it's light again. So that is an option for us if we have to, but it's kind of a last resort. It's not really an ideal place to stop, but at least you're out of the main channel, away from the commercial traffic.
Well, as a report from the bridge today, it's going quite well. It's another sunny day. We have had so many sunny days, it's really, really good. So let's not jinx it. We are currently running on the Mississippi. We're at around 1900 RPM, which means today we're getting about 10.3 knots down the river, which is a good thing because we have a long way to go today. So we have a total of about 102 nautical miles. That's a record for us. And we expect to get in at around 4:30 this afternoon, and we left at 6:30 this morning. So it's a long day. But we've got a bunch of boats behind us. There's 3 boats behind us, and we're making our way down. And so far, lots of tugs, lots of tows, but hopefully it will remain as uneventful as it is now. And then we anchor tonight. And the next day we're off to Paducah, which will be a Marina. So it's a good day on the water, and that's the report from the bridge.
There's some pretty impressive cliffs along here, and I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like a road, but pretty sure it's a railroad there, all along the side of the shore. Sometimes it goes behind trees, and sometimes it goes where we can see it. But it's kind of neat. There's a train track all the way along here. That is not something you want to hit your boat. Ouch.
Update from the bridge. So we are 2 hours roughly from our destination, and it's been a busy trip. Lots of tows, both us overtaking them and being overtaken. Right now we are doing around 11 or 12 knots, which is a real record for us. and our revs are any more than just under 1900. So it's a really good speed, and it's largely because the river has shot. It's not as wide, so it's trying to get all this water through a narrow channel that isn't very deep. So it speeds up, and when it speeds up, it takes us with it. So it's good news for us. It means it cuts a bit of time off our trip. This is the longest trip we've had so far. It's a long, long day, but it's soon to be over, which will be great. And then tomorrow we will be in Paducah, so we all look forward to that. That's an update from the bridge.
We're going through a much narrow part of the river here, and it's really twisty, windy, and so that's really blocked the wind, which is kind of good. But it's like this big, huge couple of S's that we're going around. We're going to be going south, then we're going to be going east, and then north, and then west, all over the place. So kind of an interesting little part of the river. I can't even imagine what it's like for the barges to come through here if they have really large barges. Kind of interesting. This PDQ Power Cat is going by us. We are, I think, doing around 11 knots with this current, and he is going 16. He's overtaken all the boats, and he's headed much farther than we're going to go today. Interesting though, this is a boat that's actually made in Canada, believe it or not. Come out of all those twisty turny parts of this river, and we're very close to the Ohio River and very close to our anchorage. We're not actually going out into the Ohio River today, but it's interesting. We lost all the wind for a little while, and now it's all just come back again.
It's funny, we're actually closer to the Ohio River if we just took a car and went right across land,
Yeah,
than we are to our anchorage,
That's right.
which is further down here. But
Yeah.
but that's just how river boating is. You twist and turn and go all around.
we need wheels on our boat.
Yeah, just need to be able to go that way.
Be amphibious.
Yep, but we're really close. It's been a long day. It's probably better to be on the water when it's this hot because the wind is keeping us cool.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, which is appropriate for our boat, I guess.
Yeah.
Stay cool.
Stay cool, man.
So we'll pull in. I think we'll drop the hook and just relax for the evening because tomorrow's a smaller run. But tomorrow's a little different. We have one lock, and we're going against the current. So
yeah, Ohio is against the current, not like this one.
So we've been running with the current today. We've easily picked up 3 knots on our boat speed, which is big when you're going this far. It's a shorter trip tomorrow, distance-wise, but let's see what the current does to us. It may make it time-wise a little bit longer than we expected. So we'll see.
Yeah. Destination for today is called the Angelo Towhead. It's an anchorage right near the end of the Mississippi River where it meets the Ohio River, and it's a little bit questionable anchorage. Any anchorage actually is questionable this year with our really low water levels, so we are going to go in first before the other boats that are behind us and just kind of scope it out. We do have some information from previous boaters going in, and we know there is some debris in there. So we want to be careful to avoid that, but there should be enough room for a good 4 to 5 boats at least to anchor. So let's go check it out and see what it's like. We're just reaching the end of the Mississippi here, and that island right there behind me is called Angelo Towhead. And we're going to go around the bottom tip of that island, and we have to take a really wide turn around it because there'll be kind of like a sandbar there, or a shoal. And we're going to make our way in very carefully, watching for debris and logs, and try to find an anchorage and see how much room there is for all of our 4 boats that we're traveling with. So we'll see how that looks, but we're almost there, another 10 minutes. Well, we've reached our destination for today. That was a long day, a good 10 hours, and we're pretty tired now after dealing with barge traffic and wind and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, we are here. That is Angelo Towhead right there. It's an island, and right on the other side of it is the Mississippi. And so here we are. There's a little bit of debris in here, but we managed to anchor in 11 feet of water, and there's things like, let me see if I can show you, logs like that sticking out of the water. Who knows exactly what's under us? We can't really see everything, but we think we're safe here. And the current should keep us in this position. There's a good sort of 2 to 3 knots, I think, of current. And it's very disconcerting. When we were setting the anchor, I was at the bow setting the anchor, and I felt like we were moving still because of that current going along. I'll show you. It's kind of weird. But anyway, we're here, and hopefully we'll be set for the night. And it's hot. Look at that current. It looks like we're moving.